Welcome! In today's What I've Learned tutorial, I'll explain step by step how I've created my self-introduction video. Let's watch it, and then I'll break it down.
Hi, I'm Sagi, and I've faced some interesting changes in life. I started off as a counselor, helping people one by one. Then, I became a social entrepreneur and helped many people with a common problem. Moving to Senegal forced me to adapt, so I restarted and helped expat spouses like myself find career jobs abroad. Moving to Germany was a chance for me to expand my skill set, so I retrained and became a web developer. Moving back to Israel, I've decided to fulfill a dream and taught people about proper use of AI tools. Now, I'm in China, and my new fresh start is to build ways to help other people with their fresh starts. Join me as I find ways to help all of us adapt to big changes. Let's brainstorm.
So the first thing that I did in this video actually relies on what I have learned so far. Specifically, I've learned that I lack a lot of information, a lot of knowledge about how to make videos. And so I created a course for myself with AI that basically evaluated my level, right? So it has your current level, what you're doing well, what things you need to improve on. And the first thing that was suggested here was the storyboard and the shot design and continuity and all these things. And so I created a storyboard, okay, because I learned a little bit about what to do. And I know it doesn't look like much, but actually that's the point of it, right? It got me to think about the shots that I'm looking for. It got me to think about the lighting, the angles, things that help with continuity, like the way I'm dressed, right? So at first I thought that maybe some of the shots will be real images that I had from the past, because I've been to Berlin, I've been to Dakar, I've been to these places, to Israel, to China, and I thought maybe I'll integrate some of those. So 8 years ago, I was in Senegal. I started looking at Google Photos, and in Berlin, I started looking at pictures from Berlin. And it took me a really long time to go over all of these assets and realize that I have nothing there that I could work with. Almost nothing. It was very frustrating, and I wasted a lot of time with that. So when that didn't work, I figured I may as well try a LoRa or an avatar, right? It has different names, but you create a model of yourself, you upload some images of yourself from different directions, different lighting, and different backgrounds, and it creates sort of a model of your face, of who you are, right? It can do that with other things, but here we're talking about a character, a person. And so I tried a bunch of them. You can see I tried different clothing, different areas. I didn't get the results that I was looking for with Artflow. It was far from it, I'm afraid. I tried Astria as well. I got some good results, but then I also got some really bad results, which was very frustrating. And the last thing that I tried in this regard was a reference image. It's not a LoRa, but a reference image with Runway. Some of it was good, but some of it was not, and it was not something that I could actually count on. I wasn't very happy with Runway, so I kept on trying. I tried Nano Banana. You can try Nano Banana in different ways, so I tried it first with Gemini. I wasn't happy with the result. Here we can see an example of the one of the only assets that I actually found of me in Berlin. I wanted myself at the Brandenburg tour, and I had two kids next to me. Like, you can't see the image is longer than that, and my older son is at my feet. But I asked Nano Banana to basically remove the kids, right? And then I tried to change the dimensions because I wanted it to be 16 to 9. That did not really work. Sometimes that is very frustrating. And I tried a bunch of things. I tried to use the images, the assets that I actually had to change it. I had a lot of a lot of different problems with that. Some of it worked. I'm not showing everything, obviously, here, but it was very frustrating to work with Nano Banana within Gemini. I definitely recommend working with Google AI Studio. Something else that I tried was to take a picture of myself at my home and change the background, right? So I got dressed up. I tried to pose for an asset, right? And basically, I think it looked pretty good, but up close, it's not me. It's a bit tricky to see, but the face is not exactly me. And the reason for that is basically when you create an AI generated image, it's the AI is just creating pixels, right? It's filling in a lot of pixels. And if I give Nano Banana this image, right, and it's not high quality enough, the pixels are some pixels are missing. If we want the resolution that you actually get from Nano Banana, then the AI has to fill in the gaps. And because it filled in those gaps, it made some changes that changed my face. And so I was not happy with that, but I may keep that in mind for future references. If I have a better camera, or maybe that's a good reason to invest in a camera. I just use my phone for this one, but that could work technically. And then I tried Nano Banana with Google AI Studio. Now with Google AI Studio, it worked a lot better, and that was actually the assets that I used. With Nano Banana, you can choose your aspect ratio. I was going for a YouTube video, so I chose 16:9, and I basically just gave it these 3 images every single time, and I asked for the exact man from this from detached images standing facing the camera. I described the scene. I had a recurring dress code, sort of, the description itself of the character, so that it will be as consistent as possible. We wanted the continuity to be preserved. If you notice it during the video, the colors, the green colors are not exactly the same in every single shot, but I think the illusion of the continuity is there. And basically I just kept working from here, like created all of these assets one by one, and I saved all the prompts, so you can see that it was easy to just take this part and then copy paste it into the next one. And I have like basically all of the prompts here. I'll share them. And from here on, I had to work on the videos. So I took all the assets and used them with Kling. Okay, so now to Kling. So Kling has different models. We can see here, I chose 2.1. 2.1 has a very nice start and end frame functionality. That basically means that we start from a specific frame, and then we can choose where we want to get to. So as you can see, I've numbered all of my assets, right? So it's easy for me to know that if we have one over here, then the next one should be this one. And then the result that we get is that from this frame where I'm standing at the gate, right, we're getting to this end frame of me sitting in front of a person. Now, as you can see, this one didn't really work out well. I had to generate quite a lot of videos in order to get all of the assets that I had, right? So you can see over here, it keeps going. I don't think it was very bad though. Like it was roughly, I would say, about 3 or 4 times I had to generate every time. You can also do that here when you choose how many outputs you get. I made like I subscribed to Kling in order to get the generations that I needed quickly. It was about $25, and I ended up keeping 1,000 1,000 credits out of those 3,000 that I bought. Kling had some nice surprises. It didn't take a lot of generations per scene. I think 3 or 4 is relatively okay. But over here, this was a tricky one. Okay, the first one it didn't get right. Okay, but the second one was spot on. That's exactly what I wanted. Okay, so the prompt over here, I will also share it. The man in the green shirt puts on phone to his ear while the other cards of other men and women slide in from the sides. That's what I tried. And that's what we got, which is pretty smooth. Kling had some interesting transitions. So this scene, right? The scene where I'm walking through the wall was actually a mistake that I made, but it was it was a fun mistake. The man walks out of the classroom and up to the wall. I meant that he was climbing up some stairs or something up the wall, but I wasn't descriptive enough. And so he's walking to the wall, right? Wall can be interpreted as the wall of the classroom. So that was pretty nice, and that's the one that I ended up using. So Kling is not a perfect tool, right? Definitely not perfect. I think it's also part of their profit model because they have to have us burn through credits, right? But the ratio between good and bad results is pretty good, I think, at least with what I did here. There would be some problems. Sometimes it would keep following me around, right? But in other places, it would have me disappear and then reappear from a completely different place, which is not what I'm looking for. But also notice that, I'll zoom in here, you can see that the face, okay, my face, it starts off okay, the first image, and then it ends up okay with the last image because I gave it the start and end frame, right? But if I stop, like for example here, okay, this does not look like me, and over here, this is also not exactly, it doesn't look like me. And the reason for that, as far as I can tell, is generally because of how AI video generation works, right? So animation, generally, is just adding one frame after another frame, right? A lot of images. You'll remember when you were little, for example, and you made like these little drawings for animation on your notebook, right? At the edge of your notebook. And then you would flip through the pages and you would see the animation that you've created. So that's basically animation, and that's how AI animation also works. It's just that you create a lot of images, right? And then you go through them really quickly, and that gives you the animation effect. And so what they do is they create a lot of images one by one, and they keep a lot of things consistent, but they seem to have problems with faces, with face consistency, especially during motion. And so what happens is the result that we see here, where actually the face is similar to what it was before because it's based on the previous image, but it's not exactly the same. And anchoring as many scenes as we can with the start scene and the end scene, and in Runway there's also a middle scene, at least there was in a previous model. It's nice that you can anchor it. Okay, so let's talk about the music. At first, I tried what worked well with previous videos that I've created. That is, I would just watch the video and get a feel of what would be a good genre of music to go with it as the soundtrack. And then I would go to Suno and I would create some instrumental tracks in that genre of music. And usually I would take it almost as is, maybe a few tweaks here and there, and use that as the soundtrack for the video. This approach did not work well for this video, for a few reasons. The first reason is this is a video about change, and I wanted the music to reflect the changes that the video is talking about. So I wanted different styles of music along the video. The second reason is because I tried it and something just felt off. The video felt like it had a rhythm of its own, and the music that I generated didn't match. I had to figure that out. So when you generate videos, you can control how long they will be, right? We have different options. So with Kling, it's between 5 and 10 seconds, as you can see here. If I go to Hilo, it's actually between 6 and 10 seconds, okay? So it varies, and there are also other lengths. But if I'm using the video as is, which is what I did here using Kling with the start and end frame, so that gives the video itself sort of a pace, right? The scenes will change every 5 seconds because that's how the video is structured. So what I've decided to do, I tried to create music that will also change every 5 seconds. Like that will be the beat of the music. So I went to chat and I asked him, I have a video that changes every 5 or 10 seconds, right? That's the tool that I'm using, that's Kling. And I want to make video that matches, right? So what should be the rhythm, beat, BPM, or any other timing unit that I should instruct Suno to make music? And right off the bat, it told me 5 seconds are 2 bars at 96 BPM, and 10 seconds are 4 bars at 96 BPM. So 96 BPM is what I'm looking for. Starting from here, you can see all the generations that I tried in Suno before I knew that it was supposed to be 96 BPM. So that's quite a few. And over here, I started generating after I knew that it was supposed to be 96 BPM. And sort of quickly after that, I founded this one. This one was a good one. And once I had this one, that's the one I went with, I tried different cover versions of that. So this is the Senegalese cover, and another with the klezmer, sort of Jewish one with the fiddle, the Chinese version, the German classical version. And after I generated all of these, I ended up with a bunch of cover versions as well as the original song. So after I had all the cover versions and the original music that I wanted from Suno, I went to CapCut and I basically just edited everything together. So you can ignore this line because this is just the narration. But over here we have the music. The music starts with the regular song, then it moves on to the Senegalese one. The overlap is, and there's a lot of overlap here with the other parts. It's just to make it sound more natural for the transitions. So this is the original one, this is the the Senegalese one, this is the German one, the classical one. Over here we have the klezmer with the Jewish fiddle, and over here we have the Chinese music all the way to the end. So as for editing all the music together, right, we have different covers and we have the original song, and we want to make them work together in a smooth transition, right? So if I turn off all the sound here and I just add different covers, right, so we can hear, let's hear them one by one just a bit. So this is the klezmer one, the very Jewish stereotypical music, and this is another version. This is the Chinese version, right? And this one here, so what I did was I actually took each cover version for the entire song, right, the entire track, and I've placed it here, and they all come in different lengths, right? So if we'll zoom out, we can see that these 3 cover versions have very different lengths, and they're all way more than I need. So I just tried to find the exact part that I was looking for to fill in from the original song. The original track was about a minute, so it was pretty good, but the main structure of it was similar. So each one of those covers have cover versions of every single part, right? So what I wanted to do is I wanted to try and get that specific part and place it in the right place for the video. And that's what I did. Now, in order to find exactly where they are, I listened to the music, right? And I cut it according to the, let's zoom in a bit. I cut it according to the volume, the visual volume that we see here. And that's how we end up with a single mixed track made up of several cover versions. So a few lessons that I've learned from this entire project to conclude. One, the text and the storyboard, right? So the script that I have here and the storyboard that is just a sketch, they're both very easy to change. If I made a mistake somewhere, I can just change it quickly and there's no problem with that. It's early in the process, and I find that it's really important and it saves a lot of time later on if you invest in the early parts of the process. Another thing that you should decide early on is the style of your video. Like, is it going to be realistic? Is it going to be animated? What's it going to be? Which tools are you going to use? Which platform are you trying to get to? Are you trying to get to YouTube with a widescreen or Instagram with a portrait? So decide on the aspect ratio and then make sure that all the assets are the same. Another lesson is to try and keep it to one tool per job, right? So we want to create videos. I use just Kling, and specifically Kling 2.1 with the start frame and end frame. That helps a lot because previously when I used a lot of tools, some of them didn't have the same frames per second, some of them didn't have the same resolution. It ended up looking bad. And there was nothing I could do to change that after I already created the assets. So using just one tool for a job keeps consistency. That brings me to my next point. I suggest that you pay for the tools that you use. If you're happy with what it does and you want to keep working with it, you will have to pay if you don't want to wait for months. Kling does give some free credits every month or so, but it's not close to what I needed in order to get a result on time. So it ended up costing me $25, but it was worth it. And last but not least, these things take time. There's a lot to learn. One of the problems was not to get too distracted by all the things that I needed to learn, right? I needed to learn about different platforms. I needed to learn about editing. I needed to learn about planning the shots and everything. And I did learn a lot, and now it'll be a lot easier to move forward to the next project. But there's a lot to learn, and we need to make sure that we don't get distracted. I suggest that you place a time box for each task so that you don't get distracted and waste time like unfortunately I did when I was trying to first get the assets, because it took me something like 2 days of learning things and going through Google Photos and trying to work with LoRa's and trying different things with reference images, and until I actually just found the result that I needed. And now I know what I need, I know what I get when I'm using Google AI Studio, and I'm happy with that. I will remember that for the future. But I should not have tried so many things and wasted so much time. So this is what I've learned from creating my self-introduction video. I hope it helps you create your own videos, that you enjoy the process, and that you bring your dreams to life. Go get them.